Welcome everyone to the SSW Tech News. My name is Adam Cogan and let's jump in. The first news that we have, we'll talk about VS Code. And VS Code have updates all the time. And this month there's lots. One might take your eye, that is this automatic language detection. And this is when you are pasting code into VS Code. We talked in the last couple of months about some of this cool stuff, this AI stuff that went with GitHub Copilot, and last month how we went through the natural language which grabs data from APIs and plonks it in. This is helping us directly with code. So here is a nice example. You're on a web page, you're seeing some C# code that does exactly what you want it to do, but you paste it over here, you might be in F#, or in this case it was Python. It will automatically paste it exactly the way you want it. So that's pretty cool. A typical example might be something like this, where you jump onto a page, you get some JSON. Here's some JSON. Whoa, I might copy that. And then you want to format that. So here is an example that you might want it to look like. If you jump into, I have VS Code here. Where is he? So here's VS Code. Just check you're on 1.60 with this new feature, and come here, go create a new file. And if you look down the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see that says plain text. If you paste that JSON, see how it automatically formats it to JSON. So that's not a small thing to do, and in lots of cases that's going to be quite helpful. You could also, I guess, if I would like them to go the next step, which would be to go Alt-Shift-F. So I'll just go Alt-Shift-F, and it could format it. I wish it did that automatic formatting. In fact, I wish that command was the same as Visual Studio, with being Control-KD. That would be much nicer if they're all consistent. But anyway, I would love you to just put a comment down there if this is cool or uncool. So let's jump ahead. In the GitHub world, there's lots of stuff happening there. Damien Brady did a good talk to a bunch of developers here in Sydney about what's going on with GitHub issues and how to handle that in a more enterprise organized way. I thought this was pretty cool. You can, GitHub has this CodeQL. That's their code analysis engine for looking at the code. And, they have a little example here how you could try to do a commit. And I'll just right click on that just so you can see the image a bit clearer. So let's just say you try to commit that, it would give you this warning saying that's no good. Now, this type of stuff is extremely important that we have less junk getting into our code bases. Down here, they just talk about how you can make your own. And so basically, you're making your own CodeQL queries. And that's pretty important. I'm not certain. I think this is the world's best place that you're always getting your warnings. I personally would prefer it in my IDE. But the best tools out there are expensive. Here's one, SonarQube. That is one that does that in the IDE, and that is the other equivalent. But also, this feature reminds me a little bit, for the old timers in TFS, had gated check-ins. So it's a little like that. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think of that. Let's move on to space. Do you think that Azure has enough services? We now have Azure Space. Do we need this? Well, I'm not an astronaut, so possibly not, but I would think that it's worth taking a look at because you might be surprised. There's a few cool videos here about how, scenarios about using it. It's driving SpaceX stuff, so they're using it as well, Elon Musk's company. So lots of cool stuff here. Now, here is an example. This took my eye. I came from a farm up in the Hunter Valley, and I saw there was a problem with cows. escaping. I've actually never seen a cow escape from paddocks, or if they did, it was only the odd few every now and then. But I didn't know it was a big problem. In Australia, we have a big problem of feral cows and feral buffaloes, apparently. And they have this new program called SpaceCows. And that is using AI, it's using these services, and they're trying to work out where all these buffaloes are so they can tell the people on the ground. So take a look at this photo. Here is an example of the damage these guys do. So they roam around, and I guess they must have a fence here for maybe they've got some equipment in there or something. But this forms a nice little A/B test, and you can see that's what it should look like, but it's been destroyed everywhere. And Microsoft is working with the CSIRO, that's our research institute. Those scientists have come up with essentially, I should play the video, that'll do a good explanation of it.
High up in the vast quiet of space, a constellation of satellites is gathering data to help protect our planet. In Australia, Microsoft and the CSIRO have collaborated to bring together Indigenous knowledge, space-age innovation and science to help protect the land and important cultural sites from the damage caused by feral buffalo and cattle. Introducing the new SpaceCows project, a smart herd management program that tracks feral herds across more than 22,000 square kilometres in the northern region of Australia, from Arnhem Land to the Cape York Peninsula. Using the innovative combination of Indigenous knowledge, low Earth orbit satellites and Microsoft Azure artificial intelligence platform to interpret the data, Indigenous rangers have new tools to help manage their land and create new economic opportunities. What is SpaceCows? It means we can see a cow or buffalo from space. We can use cloud and AI to predict its behaviour, to track the herd, to protect the land. Indigenous communities, Microsoft and the CSIRO collaborating with a range of partners, land, space and people working together for a better future for the planet. A shared future.
Okay, super cool. I knew that cane toads were a problem. I did not know about this problem. Now, this Azure Space services, mainly people are going to use to look at Earth. But they also have a whole lot of services that you can look at satellites, or you can look out into the rest of the solar system. And here is a group in Adelaide, South Australia. There is a group there called the Australian Institute for Machine Learning. And those guys are using the same Azure Space services, and they've got their own project called Project AI Off Earth. And they're using it to remotely control satellites. They're using it to look at space junk that is going around. You can see that they're doing a whole lot of data and cognitive systems. They're trying to mainly support automation. They're trying to do stuff that is helping to establish smart cities as well, and to address this sustainability and look at other environmental changes. Environmental changes obviously are happening to us, and these services could end up being incredibly important, So that's what's going on in Adelaide. If you're an Aussie, this will be interesting to you, because Microsoft Australia, which are pretty close to our government, obviously everyone in Canberra are very nicely licensed for Microsoft services. But they have also created a lot of these programs. And here is another one where if you're a startup and you're doing stuff, Microsoft are giving you free licenses to use these services to create your startup. So, basically they're also investing, they're also forming a partnership, and those guys are just part of that program. So all pretty cool, lots of potentially innovative solutions will come out of Australia based on that information. I would certainly love to know if this is up anyone's alley. Let's move on. There is flexible RAM coming in the hardware world. I'd never thought of this being needed, and potentially this is a solution. Looking for a problem, and we've got to think of some problems. So, some examples. This is where if you put your thinking caps on, you might think of something useful, but they have given some examples that you could put it on clothing, all right? So maybe you can put it on each piece of, jacket done. You could maybe measure measure how long it's been since you had it washed, or what bacteria is in it, or where it came from, where it was made. You could also use it for food. Apparently, you could detect bacteria, and if that's the case, you could put it inside like a jar of jam, and you'd know if it was off or not. I read something a while ago which said that one of the reasons that some people think we get cancer a lot more these days is because we're putting a lot more stuff in the fridge, and we eat things that are way older than they used to be, and you don't know that they've got fungus on it and you just eat it. Where we used to just see it and just store it for a day or so. So that might be interesting. Apparently you can also put it on your skin, so that might detect how your physiology is going. You could maybe have a heart operation and put it inside your body and be getting readings on how the heart is beating, how strong it is, whatever. Moving on, let's talk about Bitcoin. And I grabbed this because I, for some reason, assumed that I was going to see some straight line up, but I don't. I think I only see little ups every time Elon Musk tweets about Bitcoin or something. There was a big development in Bitcoin this week, and I'll tell you all about it. I'm going to play you a video. So let's play this.
Using Bitcoin to buy clothes, snacks, even the daily newspaper, instead of US dollars, is now an option to the people in El Salvador, as the country becomes the first in the world to adopt the volatile crypto as its national currency. It's a big test for Bitcoin in the real world and for Salvadorans. To get them started, the government is giving $30 to people who sign up to an e-wallet called Chivo, which allows for the automatic conversion of dollars to Bitcoin and vice versa. On day one, a number of technical issues were reported in the country with the app. While some businesses welcome this crypto experiment, 80% of Salvadorans have little or no confidence in Bitcoin, and some have opposed the move.
One big reason is because people don't want their wages to be denominated in Bitcoin. It's related to the sharp fluctuations in value that Bitcoin has. Also, a lot of people think that El Salvador is not really prepared for this type of adoption. A lot of people don't have smartphones, and if they do, they don't have data plans.
So that gives you a bit of an idea. There's a lot of videos and information out there. I found it fascinating, first of all, that the government would go ahead and do something where 80% of the population don't want it. They also made it mandatory that the wages are paid in Bitcoin. They did not nicely give everyone $30 US. In El Salvador, where the minimum salary is $8 per day. That's 3 or 4 days worth of salary, so that's decent. But they didn't have any confidence in Bitcoin. And then on the day it happens, stops working. And when that gets going again, they had lost. It was actually 16% by the time it was finished. So I guess their confidence isn't even any higher. But anyway, I think it might be good for El Salvador and any other countries that take this on, because in a couple of years' time, if you're trying to get someone to, like a programmer to help you with Bitcoin stuff, a developer from El Salvador versus another country that doesn't have Bitcoin mandatory, they now have great experience. So that might be good for them. Let's move on to Apple. Apple today announced some cool stuff. We have a new iPhone. What does it do new? It has a bigger battery, okay? We now have a blue option. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't want blue, but some people might. You also have a new iPad. And what I did think this was cool, the new watch. Where's the watch? There's the new watch. It also has some services, so I have the older watch, so that would be nice to grab that. That would be awesome. So they've got some services. You might have noticed that the Peloton stocks went down after everybody found out there was going to be free. I think they give 3 free months for Fitness Plus on iOS. So that's good. Now, what's bad for Apple is this Epic Games story. If you remember a few months ago, we had Richard Campbell here. He was discussing what was going on with this lawsuit. Well, now we have an answer, and Epic Games essentially won. The district judge, Yvonne Rogers, she said, hey, Epic, what you were doing before, which was trying to allow your customers to use a payment system outside the App Store, that's cool. That's allowed. So there's the green light for that. Lots of game developers would be happy. Lots of people selling stuff on the App Store or with apps, they can now do this legally. She did also say that Epic had to pay as well for the 30% for what they had not paid. I do want to tell you this, only because it's bloody bad. There was an announcement that there is a vulnerability on Mac and iOS. The vulnerability is horrific. Basically, it's a WebKit vulnerability. So the browser on say the phone, you can control the phone. So there's going to be lots of non-technical people that go up to their phone, go to settings, go software update, make sure they get it, because it is very bad. I already know some people that have had their phones attacked through this vulnerability. Couple more pieces of news. Blue Origin, that's Jeff Bezos' space company, they are not very happy that SpaceX, Elon Musk's company, landed a contract from NASA, so they're suing them. Okay, does this remind you of when AWS sued the government, the military, over Azure getting a contract? So obviously there's some, they don't take losing easily. Now, I'll finish off with the last piece of news. I thought this is funny. Obviously, lots of people are interested in the Nobel Peace Prize, but that's for the best advancements. This Ig Nobel has been going on for a long time. They award prizes for kind of funny research, because lots of research is done around the world and it's kind of odd. Here's some beards and transporting rhinos upside down, and what is more, they're just doing random studies on lots of things. So you can learn all about facial hair stuff. I thought this was cool. They were analyzing whether politicians that are fatter lead to more corruption in their country. So there is definitely, they found a correlation. I could have told you that by analyzing North Korea, I think. But anyway, they've worked that out. They studied all these countries and got a lot of research. So very, very cool. And they also analysed what chewing gum says about you, and they analysed all the bacteria, how to get better breathing. What was the research? The research was you have better breathing after sex. How interesting. All right, with that, let's move on to the main event. The main event is Luke Parker, who is going to be talking to us about Blazor and UIs and Ant design. So this is going to be awesome. So I'll hand it over. Take it away, Luke.